When you saw the title of this video, you probably didn't expect that bureaucrats were going to be answers to 2 of the questions, did you? And if you're now incredibly shocked and surprised by that, keep watching to find out which ones. Hi everyone, Rosie here. Welcome back to my channel. It's time for another tag video. You guys know I cannot get enough of them lately. This is the Choose Your Own Adventure tag. I was tagged by a couple books, and I think the original is by Joanna. I will link both of those videos down below. Please check them out. They're both fantastic. This tag is all about characters. Each prompt or question, you have to choose a character to fill that prompt. I was gonna try and answer it from just all of the books I read, because I don't read that many specifically fantasy books, but every character who was coming to mind was from Discworld. I know I've mentioned in the past that I've always been tempted to do a just Discworld tag, and that day has come. I've decided to answer these questions using only Discworld characters, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. If you love Discworld, I hope you will discuss with me down below about whether or not you agree with my choices. If you don't, maybe it'll inspire you to pick up one of Terry Pratchett's books, because I've got some great characters to talk about here today. Question 1 is fantasy twin. Name a character you can relate to on a personal level. I don't want to get overly personal on the internet, I say, posting many videos of myself on the internet, but we don't need to get into the deep dark messes of my psyche, do we? So I've decided that my fantasy twin is the librarian. All he wants in life is to take care of his books and eat bananas, and I can relate to that. What more could a person really ask for? Especially if there's a bit of Nutella to spread on the banana. Also, when I wear my fuzzy housecoat, I do look sort of like a purple orangutan, so like, the resemblance is there. Question 2, hero. Name a character that you aspire to be like. There are so many possible choices for this one, but I've gone for a character who I think is less discussed and not so widely known, and that is Adorabelle Dearheart, aka Spike. She is a fantastic character who shows up in the... I'm never sure what that subseries is called. The Industrial Revolution one, maybe? She's a secondary character in the Moist von Lipwig series. Adorabelle is first introduced in Going Postal, and basically, she's just fabulous. She always stands up for what is right, and even when the people she's opposing seem like they should be able to crush her like a fly, she never gets afraid. She just gets angry and keeps fighting back and keeps, again, just doing the right thing and working towards what she believes is right, even if it's not easy and even if it doesn't win her many friends. And that brings me to another point, which is, while I don't want to be quite as abrasive as she is, I really respect that she doesn't feel the need to be nice. She knows what she's out to do. She's got her goals. She's there to achieve them, not to feed anyone's egos or be pleasant to anybody. Question 3, champion. Choose a character to be your champion in a duel. This is an unconventional choice. There's definitely much better fighters in the Discworld, but I'm choosing Rincewind. Yes, he is a massive coward with absolutely no fighting skills, but he also has incredible survival skills, and we see throughout the books multiple occasions where he manages to defeat much more powerful opponents, not through skill or talent, but through luck and the inability of dying. So of course you might have to set up the duel in a way that he doesn't realize that he could possibly run away, and that it's the only way forward is for him to fight through this thing. But I feel like any opponent would really underestimate him and not take it seriously, and that would give him an upper hand. Question 4, unlikable character. Name a character you love to hate. Could it be anyone other than the Auditors of Reality? These are celestial bureaucrats, and not in a fun way. They hate messiness and disorder and anything like that in the universe because it gets in the way of their record keeping, and so they're constantly trying to clean things up. They can't actually destroy life though, because that would be against the rules, so they're always trying to get humans to do their work for them and mess things up on their behalf by basically removing the things that make us human. How can you like that? Question 5, tavern buddy. Name a character with whom you'd want to have a drink or spend a night on the town. I know that Nanny Og probably seems like the obvious answer for this, but I don't think I could keep up with her. She is a hard partying woman, and I don't have that kind of constitution. So I'm going with Tracy from Pyramids. I'm never positive if you're supposed to pronounce the P or not. I'm going to go with not. She is tragically a side character in a standalone novel, so we really don't get that much about her. I would love a whole series just about her, honestly. obviously, but she spends the first part of her life as a handmaiden in a royal harem, and then when her half-brother abdicates, she ends up taking over the throne of the kingdom and drags it kicking and screaming into modernity. I feel like she'd be really fun to go out with because, one, I'm sure she has some hilarious stories, both from her time as a handmaiden and also from her time ruling a country, but also she's a pretty hardworking woman and she deserves a night off, so that would be nice too. Question 6. Villain. Name a character with whom you would not want to cross paths. So this isn't at all a villain character, but I would be terrified to get on Granny Weatherwax's bad side. She is the most formidable of the witches, and honestly, I don't know what you could put in her path that she wouldn't eventually overcome and destroy. So would love to get to know her in a positive way, but I would be terrified of ever accidentally making her my enemy because I know that before I could even think about how to try and counter her, she would have absolutely destroyed me through her force of will. Question 7. Mentor. Name a character you would want to learn from or have as a mentor. I'm going with Lord Vetinari, who is the patrician of Ankh-Morpork, a true benevolent dictator in a way. I mean, he's definitely a dictator, but also does things for the best of the city and things actually work out pretty well under his rule. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it before on my channel, but I actually do work in government, and while I have absolutely no interests in going into any level of management, let alone sort of senior management type roles, I feel like he has a lot you could learn from, and I feel like he would have so many insights into just how to function in the world and how to get your way in the world and how to get ahead in subtle and strategic ways, not sort of brute force ways. Like, I'm sure he would have the best tips for how to ace an interview and answer the questions in a way that make the interviewers go, I have to hire this person, even if you're not really qualified, like that sort of thing. I feel like he would have the best advice there. Question 8. Samwise. Name a character who you could trust or be your best friend. I've chosen Susan Stohellet, who is the granddaughter of Death. Susan is incredibly no-nonsense and resourceful, and I can't imagine a situation that she couldn't figure her way out of or find a solution to, so I would really trust her in that way and want her to be my friend in that way, where she's that person who you can call at any hour of the day and be like, I'm in a mess, I really need help. And she'd be annoyed with you and she might be snippy, but she'd figure it out. But also I'd like her to be my friend just on a more day-to-day level, in the sense that I feel like she would be the type of friend who would not hesitate to tell you you're making a bad decision, big or small scale. She'd be the one who says, no, you shouldn't do that. That's a bad choice. I know you think that's a good choice. It's not. She'd be that sort of friend who actually has your back on that sort of stuff, which is, in my view, the most valuable sort of friend. And finally, found family. If you could adopt one character / give it a home, who would it be? I'm going with Angua von Uberwald. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. I just realized as I was filming it that I've never seen it spoken anywhere, so I'm going with Angua, but that might be wrong. Anyways, she is a werewolf and also works for the City Watch, and I don't want to adopt her because she needs like protection from the world or like anything of that nature. I'm pretty sure if anything, the world needs protection from her, but her birth family are really shitty people, or really shitty werewolves in this case. So I'd like to adopt her as sort of more like a sister type thing, less as a child, and make sure that she has that family support and unconditional love and caring and yeah, support. Also, how cool would it be to have a sibling or child who is a werewolf? That would be pretty badass. That's the end of the questions. I feel like my answers have been really short to this, so hopefully they've still been interesting. And I guess I should tag some people. So I'm going to tag Nikki of Nikki's Books, Amrita of Amrita by the Book, and Nat of NerdyNatReads. They all have amazing tag answers, so I'm so excited to see who they would choose for their adventures. And as always, if you would like to do this tag, please consider yourself tagged. I would love to see your answers, whether that's in a video or in the comments down below. Let's chat about it. Should I do more tags that are only Discworld? I mean, I'm not going to do all of them, or will I? But I don't know, I've got a few others that I think might be interesting to answer with just Discworld books. So is this something you'd be interested in seeing? I don't know, let me know down below. And as always, if you like this video, please hit the like button down below. If you would like to see more of my videos, please hit subscribe, and thank you for watching.